Okay guys, this is the dress that I seen on Pinterest that I found was so cute. I will try to make this one in another video, but for now we are going to try to make this bad girl right here. It's gonna be my first time trying it, and I want to make it. I'm not gonna make it in this color. I have this knit yarn that I will be using, and we are going to try to duplicate this dress. Hopefully it comes out pretty. We can only hope. All right, okay, so let's get to the materials that we will be using. I am going to be using this acrylic yarn. It's anti-pill, and I got it at Walmart. It's a medium 4 weighted yarn. The recommended hook size is a 6.55, and it is in the color mint. Okay, I bought this at Walmart. You can find it at Walmart. It's soft. It's a soft one, and it's really cute. So I have some stitch markers. I have yarn needle to weave in our ends. I have a pair of scissors. I have measuring tape. So I am not doing this for me. I'm doing this for somebody else, and her waist is way smaller than her hips. So I'm not sure if I will be using this elastic what you call these? Elastic bands. Yeah, this elastic band. I'm not really sure yet. And I will be using a 5 mm hook instead of the recommended 6.5, which you can use that if you want to, but I want my stitches to be a little smaller, so I am going to be using a 5 mm hook size. All right, so this is the materials. Let's get this started. All right, so her waist measurement is 35, which would have been the measurement that I would have start with, but her hips measurement is 48. So since her hip measurement is 48, we're going to go off her hips measurement, because I don't want to do 35 and the skirt doesn't go over her butt. So I am gonna use her hips measurement, but I'm pretty sure this the puff stitch is a bit stretchy, and you know, acrylic yarn tend to stretch over time while you're working. So I think I'm going to subtract about 8 inches off the hips measurement and do 40 inches. 40 inches, and we'll see how that goes. Since we're gonna do 40 inches, it's gonna be only 5 inches off her waist, and that's where the elastic band comes from. If it is too big for her waist, I am going to add the elastic band to it to make it more fitted for her, because I don't want it to be loose. I want it to be form fitted tight on her. All right, so to start off, we're going to start with our slip knots. How I do my slip knot, I take the end, put it over for my fingers to make sure I leave like a really nice tail so I could weave in at the end. I wrap it around my finger. I take the back, bring it to the front. What's in the back now, I bring it over to the front again, and this is my slip knot. All right, so I am going to start with a chain that's going to get me to 40 inches stretched out. All right, so to start with a chain, you just wrap your yarn over your hook, pull through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm not doing it too tight, making leaving a little space so I'm not struggling when I am doing my my stitches. All right, so I am going to keep going until I get to 40 inches. All right, so I did about 120 stitches, and 120 stitches give me my 40 inches that I was looking for. Okay, let's try this again. Okay, so stretched out, well, about give me 40 and a half inches. All right, so now I am going to make sure that my chain are all, so I'm going to make sure my chain is going the same direction, because I am going to be joining it with a slip stitch. Okay, so in that very first stitch that we made, I'm gonna put my hook in, wrap my yarn around, pull through, and slip stitch this together like so. Now we have a circle. It's, as you can see, it is a bit stretchy, so I am going to chain one. All right, so after I chain one, we are going to start our puff stitch. So I am gonna skip the first stitch where I did my slip stitch, and I'm going to go on this one. So I'm gonna wrap my yarn around, put my hook through, like I'm about to do a either a half double crochet or a double crochet, because I have three loops. I'm gonna wrap my yarn again, put it through that same stitch. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 loops on our hook. We're gonna wrap our yarn, pull through all 5, and chain 1. Okay, we're gonna wrap our yarn again. We're gonna skip one, so we're gonna skip this one and go to the next one, and then we're gonna do our puff stitch again. So 3 loops, wrap, pull through, 5 loops we should have, wrap our yarn over, pull through all 5, chain 1, skip this one, go to the next one, pull 3 loops, wrap around again, pull 5, pull through all 5, chain 1. All right, so this is what we're going to be doing for the first row. Okay, skip one, go to the other one, and then put our puff stitch. So that's 1 and 2. We have 5 loops, pull through all 5, chain 1, skip 1, go to the next one, pull through 1 more time, 2, 5 loops, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wrap around, pull, chain 1. All right, so I am going to go all the way around until I get like to the couple final stitches, and I'll show you what. All right, so I am about to finish the second row. I'm gonna put a puff stitch right here, chain 1. So this was our start of our second row. Gonna remove this and put a puff stitch right here to start our third row. So this is gonna be our third row right here. Oh, chain one, and I'm going to put my stitch marker again on that chain one space to tell me this is the start of the third row. Okay, and this is how it's looking. You can see 1, 2, and 1, 2, and 3 right here. Okay, so I am going to keep doing that until I get to about maybe 10 inches, 10 to 12 inches between that right there. And once I get to that, I'll come back and show you what I'm doing next. All right. Okay, guys, so I did about 30 rows, and you see it's very seamless. You don't even this is where we had started right here. It looks very seamless, going in circles. Now, to make sure, because you could tell that it's a little uneven right here, but you should have the same amount of rows on this side, I counted 30. So what I did is I counted this side right here, and I also counted this side right here, and I counted 30, which 30 rows give me, not stretched out, give me about close to 11 and a half. But if once you do stretch it out, it's stretched to about 16 inches or 15 and a half, 16 inches. All right. If you didn't put a stitch marker to indicate where your new row would start, you could just from this point, you could just move your fingers straight down, and it will tell you right here. All right. So I'm gonna remove my stitch marker. And I'm just gonna do a slip stitch on top of the chain one space right here. Just slip stitch this right here. Okay, so I am going to chain one, and I'm going to do single crochets. Okay, to do a single crochet, you wrap your yarn around, pull through the hoop. No, single crochets, sorry, is you put your hook through, pull through, have 2 loops, yarn over, pull through all 2. Okay, so I'm gonna put a single crochet on the space and on the chain one spaces. Okay, so we're gonna do single crochet in that space and also in the chain one all the way around. Okay, right here. You could put your stitch marker right here to indicate this is the first stitch. Okay, right here. So I am going to continue doing single crochet. Again, single crochet is put your hook through, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through all 2. So I'm gonna put single crochet on the spaces and on top of our chain one that's on top of our puff stitch. So go ahead and do that all the way around, and then when we come back here, I'll show you what. Okay, So I am getting to the last couple stitches. I'm gonna put one right here. Oop. And then we're gonna slip stitch. Okay. And there we go. So we're gonna do kind of like the bottom area where I see it's kind of like ruffles, but not really ruffles, and we're gonna incorporate the puff stitch in it also. So let's see how we are going to do that. So I'm gonna chain up 2. We're going to skip this right here, and we're gonna put a puff stitch right here. Oh no, not right here. Right in that space, but in this inside the single crochet that's in the middle. Okay. All right. Actually, no. So we are going to skip this one, and we're gonna put a puff stitch right here. Okay. So 1. I'm gonna pull through all 3, chain 1. We're gonna skip this stitch, and we're gonna put it in this stitch right here. Okay, so let's do it over again. Okay. So we're gonna skip this stitch, and we're gonna put it right on the stitch that's in the space between the 2 double crochet. So we're gonna put on the stitch that's the single crochet right here, and we're gonna put 1 puff stitch. Okay, chain 1, skip this stitch, go to the next stitch, chain 1, skip, go to the next, chain 1. All right. Go to the next one, chain 1, and once I have a couple stitches left, I'm gonna come back when I get to like right here. All right, so I have one stitch right here, and then this is our chain 2. So I am going to put 1 half double right here. No, my bad. I am going to put 1 half double right here where our chain 2 is, to finish a puff stitch. So I'm gonna put that in here. And I'm going to slip stitch on that space right here. Okay, to make it seem like a puff stitch. So I'm gonna redo it again. So this is technically it's kind of like 2 stitches. So this is 1 stitch, and this space right here is where our chain 2 is. So I'm going to put 1 half double crochet right here, right where our chain 2 is, and then slip stitch with that chain 2 to bring it close together to make it look like it's a puff stitch. Okay, and I'm going to chain 2, Actually, I'm gonna chain 3, and then we are going to skip this stitch right here, and we're gonna put a puff stitch right here on that next. We're gonna chain 1, and then we're gonna chain 2 more, so technically chain 3, and then we're gonna put puff stitch in that next stitch, chain 1, but technically chain 1, and then we're gonna chain 2 more. 1, 2, and we're gonna put a puff stitch in that next stitch. Ooh. Do that again. Like so. We're gonna chain 1 to close this off, but chain 2 more. So this is what we're gonna do. Okay, so close our puff stitch with the chain 1, and then chain 2, and put a puff stitch. I'm trying to keep it loose, but it's not really working out so well for me. Okay, so there we go. And this is what we're gonna be doing for this row. All right, so when we come back over here again. All right, so I am getting to the last couple stitches. So we're gonna chain 1 to close the puff stitch, and chain 2 more. Gonna put a puff here. And then we're gonna put one last puff here to one half double crochet, no, 1/2 double crochet here to make our puff stitch. Okay, so and then close it out. Okay. Oh, let's do this one more time. So after we finish chaining, right at the bottom of our chain 3, we're gonna do a 1/2 double crochet, and then on that space, or we could even do it on the first stitch right here, slip stitch this so it could look like a double crochet. And then we could chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Actually, for this one, we're gonna chain 4 because we're gonna be technically chaining 4 plus 5 because of the first chain to close out the puff stitch. All right, so we're gonna skip this one right here, and we're gonna go to the next one, and we're gonna put our puff stitch like so, chain 1, and then we're gonna chain 4 more. 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're gonna put our puff right here. Make sure you get this one. Close out our puff with the chain, and then chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So in total we are chaining 5. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and go to our next space. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go to our next space. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and that's how it's looking. So I'm gonna go ahead and go all the way around until I come back right here. Okay, so I am I'm at like the last space for this row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I am going to put my half double crochet here. So I'm gonna count 3, 1, 2, 3 on that third one right here. I'm gonna slip stitch to close this up. And I'm gonna chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to do one more row. So after our single crochet, we just skip every other row and put a half and put our puff stitch. And then for this row, we had put our puff stitch on the spaces, and we chained 3 technically 3 because our first chain is to close the puff stitch, and then we chained 2 more to make it 3, so in total it became 4. And in this one we chained 5, which one of the chain is to close the puff stitch, and then we chained 4 more to make it 5. So this one we are going to chain 6. Okay, we're gonna chain 6, and then we're gonna put our puff stitch between the spaces right here. Okay, so we chained 1, 2, 3, 4. We're gonna chain 2 more. 5, 6. We're gonna skip this one, and we're gonna put our puff stitch on this one right here. Chain 6. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Put our puff stitch here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Go to our next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Go to our next space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so I'm gonna keep doing that until I come back right here. All right, and this is going to be our final row for the okie dokie. So we are at our last space right here. We did chain 6. I'm gonna put our last puff stitch here. We're gonna chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. and we're gonna put our half double crochet here on top of our chain, and then we're gonna close our half double crochet. We're gonna count 3. We're gonna put our slip stitch on the 3rd. So 1, 2, 3, like so. Slip stitch this bad boy. Chain 1. And we're gonna cut our yarn. And this is how the bottom is looking. And this is the bottom part of the skirt portion. Now we are going to be working on the top portion. Okay, so I am going to pull a good amount of tail, and then I'm gonna cut my yarn there. Pull that, and then I'm going to weave in the ends. Okay. Oh, this skirt used 1 hole, and then this is what's left of the second roll. Okay, just so you could have a reference. And this is kind of like a large, you could say. All right, so we're gonna do the top portion of this dress. All right, so we are going to do the top portion of this dress. So I went ahead and add my stitch marker on the side. What I did is I counted my spaces all the way around, and I counted 61. 61 divided by 2 is about is 30.5, which that's an odd number. So I just went and I counted 30 in the front, and then the back will be 31 since it's like a odd number out. So I attach my stitch markers. So I am going to attach my yarn. This is the chain that we had started with. I'm putting it on the side so it doesn't really show, because I want the front and the back to be seamless, very just together. All right, so I'm gonna start with the slip knot. I'm leaving a long tail, a good long tail to weave in at the end. So I am going to drop my stitch marker, put my hook through, attach my chain, with a slip knot, pull that. Okay, and I'm going to attach another slip knot right here on the on top of our puff stitch, just to be more secure. All right, and we're gonna chain 1, and right here we're just going to start with our puff stitch on the following stitch. Chain 1, puff stitch, chain 1, puff stitch in the next space, chain 1. Okay, so I am going to keep doing that until I get to the other stitch marker, and once I get there, I'll come back and show you how I start the second row for the top. Okay. Okay, I had forgot to tell you, you can, if you know where your beginning stitches are. So this was the chain 1, so I'm just gonna put my stitch marker here. So I am getting to my last space before the stitch marker, chain 1, and I'm going to put my last puff stitch here, chain 1. I'm gonna turn my work. Now we are going to start decreasing. All right, so to decrease, we are not going to put a puff stitch here. We're just going to slip stitch. No, actually we're gonna put a single crochet. Okay, so we chain 1, we're gonna put a single crochet here. So to do a single crochet is you put your hook through the space, pull through 2 loops, front loop to the back loop. Okay, and then we're just going to do our puff stitch, chain 1, and we're gonna input our stitch marker right here to indicate this is where we started at. Okay, so we're gonna put another puff here, chain 1, chain 1, okay. You can also see how it's already changing the shape. All right, so when I get to the other end, I'll come back. All right, so this is where we started from. This is our chain 1 that we started with. So we're just gonna put one last puff stitch in that last space right here, chain 1. We're not gonna put anything right here. All right, because we're doing decreases. So we turn our work, we're gonna slip stitch here, not slip, we're gonna put our chain, we're gonna do single crochet here. So chain 1 to close our last puff stitch, single crochet, and then we're gonna put our puff stitch right here. Okay, there we go, chain 1 and then continue. So we're gonna start our row with a single crochet in that very first space, and then on the second space we're going to put our puff stitch, chain 1, and keep going. I'll show you guys again when I get to the other end. All right, so this was where I started. This is our last space. We're gonna put our last puff stitch, chain 1, turn my work. We're gonna do our single crochet in this space, and then we're gonna do our puff stitch right here. Okay, chain 1. I'm gonna put the stitch marker right here to indicate this is where I started, and then keep doing my puff stitch. Alright, so you could see it going in of itself right here. So we've done 1, 2, and this is going to be our 3rd row. We're gonna do maybe 2 or 3 more rows. All right, so after 2 or 3 more rows, I'm gonna come back, and then we're gonna cut it in half again to do the cups, the going up the stomach to the breast area. All right. Okay, so I am on my final 5th row. We're gonna put our last puff here, and we're gonna chain 1. Okay, and this is how it's looking so far. Okay, so I went ahead and I counted everything. Remember, before we started our 5 rows here, before we had cut this in half, I had 61 spaces. And remember, when we had first started with our chain, we started off with 120 chains. So we have 1 chain more than what we started with, but that's okay, because 60 plus 60 is 120. So we had cut that in half because, you know, we had for our puff stitches, we did every other stitch. So yeah, we kept the same amount of spaces that we needed to. All right, so I went ahead after my 5 rows this way. I went ahead and count the spaces here, which was 20 spaces. 20 divided by 2 is 10. So we're gonna be working on one side for now. So I went and counted 10, which was very even. So this space, so I put it right here on top of this puff stitch, because this is 10 and this is also 10. All right, so we are going to work 2 rows of no increases or decreases. After our 2 rows, we're gonna do a little bit of decreases, and then we're not gonna decrease, and then we're gonna increase for the breast area to make sure that it's covered. And after we covered that little part of the breast area, then we're gonna decrease again. All right, so what we're gonna do is normal, then decrease, then increase, then decrease. All right, so I had already chained 1. We're gonna turn our work. So this is no increase or decreases, so we're just going to put our first puff here, chain 1, puff here, chain 1, puff here, chain 1, puff here, chain 1. All right, and then we're gonna do our puffs until we get to the middle stitch marker. Okay. While we're doing that, since I don't really need this part anymore, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to move my stitch marker on the bottom part before we had started our 5. So this is technically 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Oop, I'm gonna put my stitch marker right here to let me know this was the beginning of our increase. So when I'm coming down to fix the edges, I'll know where I had started and where I had stopped. All right, so we're gonna continue our puff, and this is going to be our last puff right here. Chain 1. Oh, not chain 1, I had already chain 1, sorry. So turn our work, no increase or no decrease, just puff stitch. All right, so when we get to this part, I'm gonna show you what I'm going to do next. All right. Okay, so this is row 2. So this was 1 and 2. I already chained 1. I'm gonna turn my work, and we're gonna be working on row 3. If you are doing this for yourself, I recommend that you try on your work as you're stitching to make sure that everything is fitting you the way that you want it to fit. But I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for someone. First time I'm doing, well, not really first time, but oh yeah, anyways, so I'm trying to do it per her measurements. All right, so when I had measured her under boob to like her waist, like to her stomach, was 9 inches. So I know I did 5. That's why I put my stitch marker here, so I could keep track of the measurements, on how I'm working until I get to the chest area where we're gonna be doing some increases and decreases. So yeah, so this is going to be row 4. Okay, this is row 4. So after my row 5, or after our next row, I am going to stop to take some measurements to make sure that I'm not doing extra rows, or if I need one more row to make. So we're gonna turn our work. Keep working. There we go. think this is a perfect stopping point. So I could take some measurements right quick. Gotta make sure I stretch it just a little bit to mimic somebody wearing it. So we are about 5.5 inches deep, because this is our stitch marker. This is the row right here. About 6 inches. Okay, I don't think I'm gonna go all the way to the 9 inches because I want it to be more snug, if anything. All right, so I am going to keep working. Even if we are not reducing, you could see how this is still going inward. All right, because we're just working in the spaces. Remember, we started with 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then this row is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's keep on reducing because we're not adding one at the very end right here. Okay, so right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches left. So we're gonna keep working until I get to, I'm gonna do one more row. All right, so I did, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows. Which is, let's see, which tends to give me my, let's see, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so it gives me about 7 inches. All right, so now we're going to start our increases. So to start our increase, we're gonna chain 1, turn our work. Right here on top of our chain 1, we're gonna put a puff stitch. Okay, I'm gonna put a puff stitch right here. So this is our 8th row, chain 1, and then put a puff stitch on chain 1. And we're gonna put another puff stitch right here on top of our chain 1 too. All right, chain 1, turn our work. And we're gonna keep doing the same thing. We're gonna increase for maybe about 3 rows. Or you could put it against your body to see if it covers enough of your chest area. So we're gonna keep going and find our chain or chain right here. And So I'm gonna do that for a couple more rows, and then I'll come back to tell you exactly how many rows. Okie dokie. So let's see how many rows that I've done from starting here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I did 7 rows. After the 7th row, on the 8th row, I started doing increases, and I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 increases. So after the 5 increase, I am going to put a single crochet on our chain, on top of our chain 1, on top of the puff stitch, and then I'm going to put one in that, oh, that was a half double, and I'm going to put one on in the space right here. Okay, I'm gonna put one on top of our puff stitch. I'm gonna put one in the space, one on top of our puff stitch, one in that space, one in on top of the puff stitch, one in that space, okay. In that space, and I'm gonna put one more on top of our last chain space right here. Okay, and I'm going to chain 1 and turn our work. All right, so I went ahead and chain 1. So we're going to put a puff stitch right here on that first stitch right here. Chain 1. We're gonna skip this and go to the next one and do a puff stitch, chain 1, skip, chain 1, skip that one, chain 1. All right, so we're gonna put our last single crochet here, chain 1, turn our work. On that first stitch right here, we're going to put a puff stitch, chain 1, skip this one, go to the next one, puff stitch, chain 1, skip one, go to the next stitch, chain 1, skip one, go to the next stitch, chain 1, skip, chain 1. All right, so we're gonna turn our work. Oop. We're gonna put one puff stitch right here on that first space, chain 1, Okay, so we're gonna keep doing like we were doing. And we're gonna put one more right here, and then we're gonna start decreasing. Actually, no, we're not gonna put one right here. We're gonna stop it right here. Chain one, turn our work. Alright, so it's gonna start the reduction. We're gonna keep doing that. Okay, chain one, turn our work, and so you're gonna keep doing this until we get to 2 spaces left, and then I'll show you how I finish. How I finish this part. All right, so keep going. As you can see, it's doing the reduction all on its own. All right, so we're getting to the last 2 spaces. So I had already chain one, turn our work, put a puff stitch here, chain one, put a puff stitch here, chain one. So we have one, turn our work. We're gonna put 1 puff stitch here, chain one, and we're gonna slip stitch on top of that chain right here, chain one, and then we're gonna put a slip stitch right at the top right here. Slip stitch right here. And this is what we have. All right, so I went ahead and did this side the same way I did this side. I did the same thing, same number of spaces, same number of stitches. All right, and if you put it together, you could count it, and you could see that everything is aligned. All right, so I had did my last one. I'm gonna chain, turn my work. So now I am going to do the border. You could leave it like this, but I want the edges to be more smoother, so I am going to go down with single crochet all the way down, single crochet here, and then come back. Gonna go up here, go down here, the middle, and come back up, so I could come back right here. All right, so after I chain one, I am going to put 1 single crochet on top of here, and then 1 single crochet on this, 1 single crochet on top of the chain. I'm going to put 1 single crochet here, You could do single crochet, you could do double crochet. I'm gonna do single crochet. I'm gonna put a single crochet on this space right here, and I'm going to put it one single, should I, let's see if I should just put it on the spaces. No, that's gonna leave too much of a big space, so I'm gonna put a single crochet right here on the side and one in the space, one in the side right here. So this is our puff stitch. So on the side of the puff stitch, I'm just gonna take kind of like the first V that I see. I'm gonna put a single crochet, and then on the space, and then on the side of the puff stitch, the space, on the side of the puff stitch, the space, the side of the puff stitch, the space. Okay, so I'm gonna go do single crochet all the way down right here, and when I come over here, I'll show you how it's looking so far. All right, so we are here. This was where we had start from the front only, so I'm just gonna remove my stitch marker, put a single crochet here. I'm gonna put a single crochet in this space right here, okay, and put a single crochet in this space. I'm gonna weave in my yarn later, or you could also work it in, but I want to tie it, so that's why I'm going to leave it at the end. So I'm going to put single crochet in the space, and I'm going to put a single crochet on top of the chain space for the back part. Single crochet, and after I'm done doing this, I am going to do the strap, and I'm also going to put what you call that, the elastic band, because her waist is really tiny, so just to be more snatch for the skirt part, I am going to put an elastic band. All right, so I'm gonna put a single crochet between the puff stitch and on the chain one. So I'm gonna go do that all the way around. I could have reduced a little bit more on this side, but it's because her hips is so big. It's bigger than her waist, so that's why I'm just gonna put the elastic band to make it more fitting for her. All right, so I'm gonna continue, and when I get to the other side, I'll show you how I move up. All right, so I am reaching the other side. Got my stitch marker, so I'm gonna put one right here. I'm gonna put a single crochet in this space right here, and I'm going to put a single crochet on the side of the puff stitch like I was doing on the other side, like so. Put one in the space, put one right here, put one in the space, put one right here, put one in the space, put one right. This is where the where we were decreasing, so put one in each spaces right here, put one in this space, like so. Put one in this space, this is a puff stitch. So we're gonna put one in the side. So one in the space. Oop. Alright, so I'm gonna keep going until I get close right here to show you the middle. Alright, so I'm getting at the top right here, and this is a puff stitch. So I'm going to put my single crochet right here. Right on top of that puff stitch right here. And then go to the side, and I'm gonna put one right here. All right. Now I'm gonna put one in that space, and then I'm gonna put one on the side of the puff stitch and in that space, and then the side of puff stitch in that space. Okay, so I'm gonna keep going, and when I reach the middle I will come back. And this is how the sides is looking. Okay. All right, so I am at the middle part. I'm gonna drop my stitch marker. So I put a single crochet in that space already, and I'm going to put one in that puff stitch. I'm gonna put one in that space. This is gonna be the puff stitch. I'm gonna put one. Oops. Okay, so I'm gonna put one in the side of the puff stitch. I'm gonna put one in this space, and I'm going to put one right here on that chain one space right here, and then put one in this space, and then put one in that side puff stitch. Okay, and then we're gonna continue going upwards like we've been doing on the side puff space, side puff space. Space. Oh, side puff. Space. Side puff. Space. Side puff. This space right here. This is the side puff. We're gonna put one right here. One right here. Put another one right here. Side puff. So I put one between the single crochet we did on this side. Side, space, side, space. this is the side, space, side, space, side, space. Okay, so we are getting back to the top, and I am just going to chain about 50. I'm gonna put one right here, and then we're gonna reattach it to the top right here. So at the very top, I'm gonna slip stitch, chain one. Actually, we're gonna slip stitch on that side. To me, I feel like this is the middle part. We're gonna slip stitch here. No. So we slip stitch here. I'm gonna slip stitch here. Okay, to bring it more in the middle. So I'll show you guys. So we're getting to the side right here. Actually, we could do this, a single crochet, and then slip stitch right here at the very top. I think I missed. Okay. So single crochet. That was a slip stitch, my bad. Single crochet here and slip stitch, chain one, and there we go. So I'm going to make a chain of about 50. You could do as much as you want. I'm gonna see how long 50 is. So just a chain is, so that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I'm gonna keep doing that until I get to about 50 to 60. I'm gonna see how long that is, and once I have that. Okay, so I went ahead and did both sides. I ended up just doing 70 chains for both of the top. I did 70 chains, and I did about 250 chains right here, and I'm going to put it in the middle right here, so the chest area have a little bit of a coverage, you could say. So I'm gonna take my yarn needle. Let's see. Wish I could have put this through it too. Okay, maybe not. All right, so I'm gonna start with one end. So I'm just going to put it right underneath here of our no, actually I could put it between our single crochet. So let's see how that's going to look like. We're gonna weave it in and out. Like so. I'm pretty sure you could also do this with your hook if you don't have a darning needle. I think that's what they call it. I always call it a yarn needle, so I guess it's called a darning needle. So between the single crochet row, I'm going to just weave this in back and forth. so. Back and forth. Alright. Gonna pull this one through. Like so. And this is how it's looking. So I did it on the last one. I don't think I should put one here, but let's see. Maybe I'll just put, so I'm gonna go to the other side and just put it right here. Pull that through. And there we go. And that's how it's looking. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this side, and then I am going to show you guys how I attach the elastic band. Okay. So this is how it's looking on the inside, and when you put it on the outside, this is how it's looking, like so. Okay. And you could tie this in the back. And make it a little bow. Okay, so if you had tried this on and it's to your measurements and everything is good, you don't have to put the elastic band. But like I said, her hips measurement was 35 and her hip measurement was 48, so that's like a big more than a little 10 inches difference. So I am going to attach elastic band. I think I'm gonna cut this in half. There was one that was, I might not have to. There's others that is smaller and thinner, but I didn't find that one. Let me see which one. Guess I'll go try this one. I didn't get this. I already had this. So I'm gonna measure this right quick. So without stretching it, it's 25 inches. Without stretching it, it's 25 inches. But with stretching it, it's like more than what we need. So I'm going to stretch this out, and then when I get to about, like, I'm gonna do 38 inches, I'm gonna stretch this out all the way. Okay, 38 inches gives me right here, and I'm going to cut right here. I need better scissors. All right, cut that, and this is what we have. Not stretching is about 14 inches, and when we do stretch it out, give me about, yeah, 37 inches. Okay, so I'm gonna take my yarning needle, weave this in. I think I want to start in the side. Or even in the middle. Okay, so right here, making sure it's even. I should have left my stitch marker, but this is where we had started or decreased. So right here, just find right here. Gonna put a stitch marker down here. All right, so let's see how we want to add this. Let's see if we weave it in on the single crochet bit, how that would look like. Let's see. Maybe I'm gonna have to cut it in half. Okay, so okay, so I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm going to cut this in half. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. Once I cut it, I'm gonna come back. All right, so I went ahead and I cut it smaller. Okay, so we are going to try this again to weave it in between the single crochet. And there we go. Put that in. Okay. So I'm going to do this all the way around. When I get to like the front, I am going to show you how I attach it towards the front part, all right? Okay, so I'm gonna do this in the back, all the way around. Once I get to the front, I'll show you how I attach it. All right, so this is going to be, we've gotten from the back part so how I am going to attach this one is, okay, so I'm gonna make sure we stay in line. Let's do this row right here. Okay, so we're gonna go up to our last single crochet, and then so we're gonna go in between here. So we're gonna go in between the puff stitches. So like so. So we're gonna take the puff stitches. Between the puff stitches, we're gonna weave this in so it doesn't show in the front. All right, so make sure that you stay in the row. So I am getting in the middle of the puff stitches, like so. And then just pull this in. Okay. Making sure, sorry, I have a little bit of the sniffles. So that's gonna be the inside, and this is how it's looking on the outside. You don't even see it unless you stretch it out a little bit. Oh, I think I missed a row. Nope. Okay. So we're gonna make sure, try to stay in that same row so it don't show. All right. Okay, so when I finish, I'm gonna show you how I fasten it. All right, so you guys could tie it to close it, but I am just going to weave in. So I got, okay, so like I was saying, you guys could tie it or however you guys want to attach it, but I forgot my smaller needle, so I'm just gonna use this, and I'm just gonna weave it in a couple times. It doesn't even have to be perfect because it's not even gonna show. You just want it to be able to stay connected. But since this is so small, it's a little, it's playing games with me, but just connect it however that you can. There we go. Put this on this side. Okay. So I'm just gonna do this a couple times. I'm gonna bring this in. Bring this in too. So it could be a little knot. Okay, and I'm going to do that one more time. Bring this in like so. Oh well. Like so. Alright, so I attached the elastic band. That's the inside, the outside. You can't even really see it until you're really looking for it. And this is how it looks in the front. You can't really see it from the front part either. This is where I had attached it. Okay, see? And then this is why I snipped it off. Okay. So if she sends me a picture of her with it on, I will post it either at the beginning or at the end of this video. But yeah, and we are all done with this outfit. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you like, comment, and subscribe. Share my video also. I would greatly appreciate your support. Thank you. See you next time in my next video.